Hi everyone, and welcome to another day of intro videos for the Mama Elephant 13th anniversary release. This is Jen Lee again, and today we are introducing a holiday-themed sentiment set called Very Merry Sentiments. This is a great holiday set to add to your sentiment stash. Something I like to do with new stamp sets, and especially with sentiments, is to prep the stamps with an eraser and Versamark ink. I start by gently swiping the stamps with an eraser. Then I dab Versamark, or basically any clear embossing ink, and wipe it off with the heel of my palm. I find that doing this allows the sentiments to stamp a lot crisper and cleaner. I decided to make a background using all of the different sentiments, and I really love the font of these and the variety of sayings. So the sayings are, "May your days be merry and bright. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Have yourself a very merry little Christmas. Sugar and spice makes Christmas nice. Fill your heart and home with joy. Sweater weather is better together. Wishing you peace and love." Creating sentiment backgrounds like this is actually pretty challenging for me, so my only trick that I have is to arrange it in what you think will look good, and then don't be afraid to switch things up. The only reason why it looks like I'm having such an easy time putting together my background is because I planned the sentiments ahead of time. He, that's my secret. All right, right now I am masking up my sentiments using acetate sheets and stamping with my first color. I realized I couldn't really see what I was doing, so I added a piece of cardstock behind so now I could see exactly where my ink was going. For this card, I'll be using different colored inks to stamp out the sentiments. I'll list out the ink colors in the video description below. So through the magic of video editing, I'm going to zoom ahead and just show you each sentiment stamped out, but I'm skipping all the in-between parts so that this video won't take quite as long. To create a focal point, I will be making a wreath using Serenity ornament and plain circle frames. To add some depth to the wreath, I applied dark green ink to the center of each pine needle sprig. This process took a bit of time, but I really like how it turned out in the end. Another option you can do to add interest to your wreath is to cut out the pine needles from different shades of green. To create the wreath, I started with a circle frame as the base and glued the pine needles on one by one. I arranged it so they're kind of staggered and also overlapping so they can fill out the wreath. This process took a little bit of time, but it was very satisfying to glue everything in place. I just kept going until I filled up the entire circle frame. One piece of advice I have for you if you decide to make a wreath like this is to always cut out extra pine needles just in case. I wanted to add a bow to the wreath, and I searched through my stash for a bow. The bow that I used here comes from a retired Mama Elephant set, but you can search through your own stash and see what you have. Some Mama Elephant sets that have bows are the Wreath Shaker Creative Cuts, Mini Bow Box, and Stitched Gift Tag Creative Cuts. My vision for this card was to create a removable ornament, and the wreath was going to be adhered onto the front panel using a removable glue dot. So in order to make the ornament, I needed to add some string. I attached that to the back of the bow with some double-sided adhesive. And once I trimmed down the string to the length that I wanted, I used some hot glue to glue the bow and the string onto my wreath. Sometimes I like making dual purpose cards like this. It's a card, it's an ornament, it's both. That way the recipient can get double the joy. After I attached the bow, I realized I had forgotten to add sparkly splatters to my wreath, so you'll see that I masked off the bow with some pieces of scrap paper. I'm using Lawn Fawn liquid stardust, and I watered it down with a squirt of water, swirled my paintbrush in it, and tapped it around the wreath. At the end, I really liked how it turned out with all the pretty sparkles, and I'm glad I remembered to do that. To assemble the card, I am going to use a piece of fun foam and adhere that to the back of my panel to pop it up off of the craft cardstock card base. I add some liquid glue to my double-sided tape adhesive just to give it extra strength. I also find that using the combination of double-sided tape and liquid glue helps to make foam stick better onto surfaces. If you don't have easy access to craft foam, you can also add dimension to things, or like in this case, you can pop up a card base by using layers of cardstock and just glue them together. After I laid out the wreath, I realized that there is a hole in the sentiment background, like there wasn't any sentiment filling up the center of the wreath. I hope that made sense. But anyway, it bothered me, so my solution was to add a small image. I picked the cute little chick from Santa's Friends and glued it on with thin foam squares. Next, I added a removable glue dot to the back of the wreath, so that way the recipient could remove the ornament easily and hang it on their tree. And that pretty much finishes up my card. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment for a chance to win a prize from Mama Elephant. The new release will be available on September 15th. Please come back tomorrow for another intro with Peggy. Happy crafting!